Ramiz Yunus, United States.
Dear Mr. President, it's a great honor for me to be here today, and I'm very happy to meet you again. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you very much for the invitation. It's already a great opportunity for me. It's a tradition. Came to my homeland, especially to the Karabakh region of Azerbaijan, for very important international events with your participation. Last time it was in Shusha, now in Khankendi in Baku. At the same time, I appreciate the opportunity to ask you questions regarding serious geopolitical issues in the world and around our region. Dear Mr. President, last time, before the US elections, in response to my previous questions, you shared your excellent experience of communicating with both Democrats and Republicans. And as I remember, you said it was always easier for you to work with Republican administration. Dear Mr. President, I have a question for you. If your expectation after the change of power in the White House were justified, or it is still too early to talk about that? And what do you see the main risk for Azerbaijan and for our region today? Once again, thank you very much, dear Mr. President.
Thank you. From my personal experience, and I shared it on a couple of occasions, of course, working with the Republican administration was much more comfortable rather than with Democratic administration. I started my presidential duties in 2003 during the time of President George Bush, and relations between two countries were very good. We, both of us highly appreciated mutual support and considered and publicly announced the strategic importance of our bilateral relations. Azerbaijan was among the first non-NATO countries which joined operations in Afghanistan and in Iraq, and that was based on the request from the US administration. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been there. We provided not only physical support through a large number of our military servicemen, but also provided important transportation link to Afghanistan, whether it's air connection or our land facilities and through Caspian Sea. So it was highly appreciated by US governments during the administration of President Bush. Situation changed a little bit, but not dramatically after President Bush ended his duties. But during the times of Biden-Blinken administration, relations between the United States and Azerbaijan can be characterized as relations in crisis. And the reason for that was not us. We always wanted to have good relations with the United States, which is the strongest country in the world. But it was because anti-Azerbaijani policy of State Department run by Mr. Blinken and many anti-Azerbaijani people in administration of President Biden. So I can name various facts which created frustration in Azerbaijan. I think the only one is enough, how sanctions have been reimposed on Azerbaijan. So when Azerbaijan was needed to the United States, so-called 907 Amendment to the Freedom Support Act, which was discriminatory to Azerbaijan, was waived. And every president of the United States every year was issuing a waiver. But as soon as Biden-Blinken administration run away from Afghanistan, and how they did it, all of us have seen. They reimpose this amendment again on us. So being so unthankful is, how to say, very harmful for administration itself, because who will trust them after that? And our level of trust to Biden-Blinken team was close to zero. Our relations were in deep crisis. United States under Biden-Blinken team took unilateral side with Armenia. That was for the first time officially since the Armenia-Azerbaijan conflict started. Yes, we all knew what kind of support Armenia had in all democratic administrations, but nevertheless, never in the history of American mediation to the process, they took unilateral side with Armenia. It's enough to remember April 5th last year, very strange meeting in Brussels with participation of Mr. Blinken, Madame Ursula von der Leyen, Mr. Borrell, and Mr. Pashinyan. Unprecedented meeting which this team of American and European politicians never had with any country of the world, not only of post-Soviet area. And we had enough credible information that part of the agreed protocol was devoted to military buildup. And we raised this issue in advance in order to prevent it. And then it was deducted from the text of the document, but de facto it existed. And based on that, so-called European Peace Facility Fund allocated first tranche to Armenia to buy weapons. Another important milestone in deterioration of US-Azerbaijan relations under Mr. Blinken was a strategic partnership declaration, which was signed 5 days before President Trump came to office. On 14th January this year, in Washington, Secretary Blinken and Armenian foreign minister signed declaration on strategic partnership in a rush, in a hurry, just as thieves, you know. Just 5 days, the new team has come. President Trump, he will determine the policy. What is the reason for that? That was another anti-Azerbaijani move by Mr. Blinken. I regret it very much because I trusted him a lot in the beginning of our communications. But, well, unfortunately, I was wrong. So attempts to build dividing lines in the Caucasus, to isolate Azerbaijan, to discriminate us, to spread rumors about Azerbaijan. As soon as Biden-Blinken team left the office, all these insinuations against Azerbaijan immediately stopped. The media, which was very aggressive on us, those whom President Trump calls fake news, like Washington Post, New York Times, Politico, etc., they immediately stopped publishing all ugly articles about Azerbaijan. We knew that the source of these articles is State Department. The same was with USAID. Now, by the way, our general prosecutor is investigating the illegal activity of USAID. I was already informed about the preliminary investigation, and it demonstrates the scope of anti-Azerbaijani activity and attempts to undermine our government, the clear attempts to intervene and interfere into our internal affairs. As soon as the portfolio is ready, we will submit it to President Trump's administration so they can take serious measures about this corrupt USAID and its corrupt leaders. So this is a history and well, I can talk about that history maybe for several hours, but most important is now, yes, whether we already got what we expected. I would say yes, because first, anti-Azerbaijani trend in US policy stopped, and this is already a positive sign. Second, there have been already high-level contacts between members of Trump's administration and the Azerbaijani team on different levels with a very productive and mutually acceptable agenda. And third, taking into account the agenda of Trump's administration, we can foresee that this period in our relations will be a very good opportunity to strengthen our partnership. And also we have experience in working with Trump's administration during his first term, which was also very positive. We didn't have any crisis in our relations. Yes, our relations were not as active as we would have wanted them to be, but that was first term. Now, when President Trump and his team have seen European Union's hypocrisy against him, have seen how European leaders were behind the plot against him, supporting Madam Harris. So he felt it on his own skin. So his second term, definitely, that's my assessment, will be much more active and much more concentrated on Americans' national interests than his first. And in American national interests, this I can say with full authority, strong relations with Azerbaijan are very important for this region, because Azerbaijan as a leading country in Southern Caucasus, Azerbaijan as a part of Global South with a strong position in non-aligned movement, where we've been successful chair for 4 years, with our strong connections with the region of Central Asia, what we already discussed, and with capability, with economic potential, with energy resources, with army which demonstrated its strength on the battlefield, not on the parades, and with all the rest, with political connections, can be a very important partner for United States. We want it to happen. We see that it is happening. At the same time, we understand that now President Trump and his team are preoccupied with much more urgent and important issues of global agenda. So we are waiting for the time when we will engage, or maybe re-engage, in a very strong, predictable, long-term strategic relationship with the new administration.